A decade ago in Vienna, the US and Iran shook hands. They signed what was called the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. The world knew it as the Iran nuclear deal. It did not last. Donald Trump became president. He walked away from the deal. What followed was accusations, backlash, and threats. And then there was silence for years. Now, in 2025, against all odds, the deal is back on the table, not as a symbol of hope, but as a tired necessity. The first round of talks was held in Oman. Not much came out of it, but the red lines became clear. For the US, it's all about a nuke. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So verification is a key ask from the American side. How much uranium is Iran enriching, and how closely can they watch?
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. It's, pretty simple. It's really simple. We're not looking to take their industry. We're not looking to take their land. All we're saying is you can't have a nuclear weapon.
For Tehran, it's about sovereignty. Their right to enrich uranium is non-negotiable. Iran will not compromise on that.
What is certain is that Iran's enrichment program is a real, accepted matter. We are prepared to build trust and address any potential concerns, but the core issue of enrichment itself is not negotiable.
So two sides, two red lines, and now they're heading into round two. The talks will take place this weekend. There was some confusion over the location. Iranian officials said it would be Oman again. American officials remained quiet. Reports suggested it would be Italy. All of that has been cleared now. Both sides will meet in Rome for round two. And who is leading the talks? On the US side, it is Steve Witkoff, Trump's golf buddy and the US envoy to West Asia. On the Iranian side, it is Abbas Araghchi, Iran's foreign minister and a career diplomat. Oman will be mediating these talks, and there are some other players involved too, like Russia and Saudi Arabia. Tehran has asked Russia for help, and Moscow says it is ready to play any role in the talks.
We are ready to help, mediate, and play any role that, from Iran's point of view, will be useful and that will be acceptable to the United States. We proceed from the fact that the only option for an agreement, as the minister just said, is an agreement exclusively on nuclear issues.
Meanwhile, the Saudi defense minister is in Tehran. He met with Iranian officials just before the second round of talks. The two sides did not mention the nuclear deal explicitly, but it's an issue that impacts the entire region. The biggest impact will be on Israel. Look at this latest report. It says Israel wanted to attack Iranian nuclear facilities next month. Everything was finalized. They were just waiting for an okay from Washington. But Donald Trump killed the plan. Why? Because the US president wanted to pursue the nuclear deal. Benjamin Netanyahu even tried to talk to Trump about this. The Israeli prime minister called him on the 3rd of April. Trump invited him to the White House. 4 days later, Netanyahu was in the Oval Office, and that's when Trump dropped the bomb. He told the Israeli leader about the direct talks with Iran.
We're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious. And the obvious is not something that I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it.
So Netanyahu had to keep a straight face in front of the cameras, but Israel still has one demand: that Iran should not get a nuclear weapon. Trump wants the same thing. So this should not be a problem. In fact, reports suggest that this is the deal being negotiated. The talks are centered around a three-stage deal. Stage one, Iran scales back uranium enrichment to 3.67%, which is the limit they set in the 2015 nuclear deal. In return, Iran gets access to billions in frozen assets. Also, a green light to export limited volumes of oil again. That's stage one. Stage two, America eases more sanctions. Iran allows full access to IAEA inspectors. Stage three, Iran ships out its stockpile of enriched uranium to a neutral third country. In return, the US formally ratifies the deal, meaning they pass it through their Congress, and this will prevent future US presidents from tearing it up again if the US Congress has passed it. So Iran does not get a nuclear weapon. The US eases sanctions, and everyone is happy. Or are they? What will a deal mean for West Asia? For Iran, this is a lifeline, of course. Its axis of resistance is in a shambles. Its economy is teetering. Millions of Iranians are hoping for economic relief. So this deal gives them an out. For the Gulf states, too, it is some relief. They want to avoid a regional war, another one. But they're also watching it with unease. A US-Iran rapprochement could go either way. It could either bring stability or it could completely reshape regional alliances. Then there is the oil market. If sanctions are eased, Iran could start exporting oil again. Before 2018, their capacity was 3.8 million barrels per day. That's how much oil Iran exported, 3.8 million barrels per day. And that will be a major jump in global supply if they resume this. It's nearly 2% of the global demand. So this will dramatically bring down oil prices. But not everyone is so optimistic, especially Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. He says a deal may not be reached.
The first steps have been taken well and executed properly. From here on, the process should be followed carefully. The red lines are clear, both for the other side and for us. We may or may not reach a result, but either way, it's worth pursuing.
So what happens next? A deal could either diffuse a crisis or light the fuse. All eyes are on Rome.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India. What we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.